It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, we've got a lot to talk about today. How are you doing? Let's get busy today.
All right, George. Well, listen, I think I have a new saying around America's money maven, and
Okay.
that is, I'm working to stay essential.
Okay. All right now. Wait a minute. That sounds like another program.
It actually will be sometime soon, but okay, I'm working to stay essential because I realize, and I wonder if everybody in America realizes that our essential workers are the people who are keeping this economy running.
Yeah.
Yet we don't spend enough time thanking them. So I was going to make sure that at the top of this segment today that I thanked everyone who falls into what's called the essential worker category, because throughout the pandemic, it's those individuals and their tireless efforts that have made this economy as strong as it is, even though we have issues. If we did not have the essential workers, I cannot imagine what would have happened to our local, state, and national economy. So thank you to all of them.
Thank you.
I'm working to remain essential.
That's all right.
The second thing is, as we already know, but I could not go any further without actually saying anything about this. We lost a giant last Friday.
Yes.
In Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and everybody feels like, and as do I, that I know her well. And the reason I was trying to figure out why I feel like I really know her, because I've never met her, and she's a person, who's famous and justice and so forth, but I really felt like a personal connection. And the reason I believe is because she extended herself so much through her mission, that she was very consistent on throughout her life, but she extended herself to everyday people. She said, I'm here. Let me hear what's on your mind. I understand what your challenges are, and extended herself into communities in ways that you really don't expect, nor do you see with a Supreme Court justice. In fact, she even did a series there at Glimmerglass, which the Opera House, in Cooperstown. I missed it. I was intending to go. I got sick. I didn't get to see it. And I'm really, as they say, bummed out about that at this point in time. But to her family and to the greater family of justice seekers around the world, as we have all started to say, rest in power. But our condolences are passed on to the family.
Sure.
So George, I think I told you a couple of weeks ago that I was going to be speaking at the ASALH convention.
ASALH, which is the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. Holla.
Thank you so much. and I did for a couple of times this week, and I realized as I was doing that presentation that it really started to bring together a lot of the concepts that we have been discussing over the last 2.5 years.
Well, wait a minute, Vicki. Where can I see that presentation?
Well, I think I'm going to do it today. Because of the length, I'll have to break it into 2 or 3 segments.
All right, but you have it for us.
But we'll at least start today.
Okay.
So that we can share it with everyone here who's been so faithful to Inspiration for the Nation.
And we should say a little bit about, I'll say a little bit about the ASALH, which is the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, was founded, I believe, by Carter G. Woodson, if I'm not mistaken, or that's my understanding of it.
You are 100% correct. Okay, it was founded by Carter G. Woodson, who is the founder of what?
Black History Week, yes, and now Black History Month.
American History Week, which is now better known as Black History Month.
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, I heard a great segment, and just kind of like a FYI, on the Karen Hunter show. I don't know if are you familiar with Karen Hunter?
Oh, please. That's like a daily dose. You kidding me?
Okay. He and Professor Greg Carr did a segment, I think, the top of the week on the Carter G. Woodson, and because he was also one of the presenters there. So anyway, you should tune into that show. what my segment was about, my talk was the 5 steps to creation of a great estate plan.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think, well, Vicki, we talked about these things. Well, okay, what's happened is this, though. I started to notice, George, because I say this all the time, things are connected.
Yeah.
This gave me an opportunity to actually pull in all of the connections, the pieces. I kind of look at it like, in fact, I said this before, like making a meal where you prepare the individual components, and we've done that over the year. Now I've pulled all those things together into the 5 steps for a great estate plan, because the primary question for us is, are you developing an estate plan that is going to create a legacy and supports the heritage that you want for your descendants?
Yeah.
And here are the 5 steps. So
Okay.
you may want to grab a pencil real quickly.
All right. Got it.
Okay. Create, protect, retain, grow, and transfer.
Create, protect, grow, maintain, and transfer. Oh, I got that.
Retain,
Yeah.
not maintain.
Oh, retain. Retain.
Retain and and transfer.
Okay. So what was the first one again?
Create.
Create, protect. What's the
Create,
next?
protect, retain,
Uh-huh.
grow, and transfer.
Oh, grow and transfer. Okay. I got a pen that doesn't write, or I'm writing on a surface that doesn't write. All right. Although the young people, they're probably saying, you're bugging. Get your phone out, George, and do it on your phone, which is what I should have done, because that's what they do. Okay.
Right. And I was thinking about it, and I wanted to also, while I'm thinking about this, to thank Professor Crystal Johnson over at Syracuse University, who recommended that I actually speak there at the symposium.
Right.
But I've been fortunate to, as you know, George, live to about age 60 plus, because my birthday's coming up. Don't miss my birthday this year.
What's your birthday?
Okay, October 16th.
Oh.
Okay, so my birthday's coming up, and I'm going to cross one of those 60 plus kind of numbers here.
Okay.
And when you get to that point in life, you start to remember things. You remember things like how you used to dance on the dance floor, and do the 4 corners, and and right now you're doing it in your mind to Let It Whip by the Daz Band, or remember things about your childhood. And what I remember is my grandmother, who was always singing the song, "You'll understand it better by and by."
By and by.
And what I've understood is this: even though I've lived through hyperinflation and stagnation, and the Dow Jones having its worst day in history. By the way, last week the Dow crossed 28,000, but that worst day in history, which is in 1987, the Dow was at 1,000. Listen to me, in my career, 1,738. That was where it was when I started.
The quote unquote Black Monday. Yeah, quote unquote Black Monday, right? Quote
unquote. Okay, yes, Black Monday. We lived through the Iraq War and Oklahoma City bombing. A lot of people call the Oklahoma City bombing the time period, of the worst terrorist attack in America. But anyway, through all of those things, and the financial crisis of 2008, through all of those things, one of the things that I started to see in the last 33 years is this. When we start looking at creation of a great estate plan, we must go through all 5 steps. If we try and truncate it or forget any of the steps, we weaken the process, and our mantra is 0, no more.
No more.
So in order to be sure that we reach that goal of 0, no more, we need to go back a little bit, look at these 5 steps, and put action plans around create, protect, retain, grow, and transfer. Because in the 13th century, we looked at the word estate planning as being about the condition of the person. And over time, when we got into about the 1830s, it evolved in something that was around the assets of the person being the person versus the condition of the person. So the first thing I learned from understanding it better by and by was this. Net worth, you're going to remember this.
Right. Net
worth should be defined as human capital, and we did a segment on human capital, so go back in the first year, listen to the full segment. I'm not going to go through all the steps. I'll tell you just to go to YouTube, find the segment on human capital. for Brackens Financial Solutions Network. Human capital plus financial assets minus liabilities equals total net worth. We cannot look at the creation process until we understand that formula and put that formula into place. Human capital plus financial assets minus liabilities give us total net worth. So estate planning is a process. It is not a single event. And the steps are dynamic, but most of the time, here's the key, George, non-sequential, but they're at all times transforming and reforming and regenerating. When we hear the word estate planning, we tend to think of step, an ending step. It is not an ending step. It's an ever-evolving 5-step process that you must put into place and understand that it's constantly reforming and regenerating. So here's where we're going to go from here. Understanding of number 2, because it's not a single event and because it's ever regenerating, I'm looking for some help here, George. Okay, you may come back. A single word to describe this process, which is understanding number 2. How do you describe a game of 3D chess where you have levels that are constantly in motion, but the only 2 elements that are constant are the first move and checkmate?
And checkmate.
The first move and checkmate. Everything else in between is moving and constantly changing and regenerating. The beginning step is the end step, and the end step becomes the beginning step, and it keeps self-fueling through the transfer. So while the creation process and the transfer process are connected and regenerating, what moves the process forward are the linking steps. I gave you 3 in between. Protect, retain, and grow. They are the fulcrum. They provide the traction to move this process forward. So I'm going to stop right here because we've gotten to the first third, and I know that was a big bag of stuff, okay?
Yeah, you kind of, you left us with some stuff there.
Okay, so to go back real quickly, we have the creation process, protect, retain, grow, and transfer as the 5 steps. This process has a ever dynamic motion. It is constantly recreating itself. It is never sequential, but it requires that we address all of the areas all of the time. But the fulcrum that provides the traction for the process is the process of protecting, retaining, and growing. All right, George, at this point in time, I just want to remind everybody, because I mentioned a couple segments back about the date, November 12th. So inviting everybody to go to Brackens Financial Solutions Network, go to brackensfsn.com, go to the events page. There's going to be an invitation there for you to an incredible event. That event is on November 12th, which is being sponsored by the Upstate Venture Connect, to talk about and look at a new element around entrepreneurship. I'm gonna give you that little tease, okay? We'll build on it each, but go there starting Monday, hit the link, and you can register for this event, which is going to be really something that you don't want to miss, as they would say, that you absolutely don't want to miss. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at area code 315-930-4499, or you can like us on Facebook. Go to our YouTube channel to get the background history on all of the things that we're going to be discussing over the next couple of 3 weeks. And finally, George, I'll say our plate is full.
All right. Thank you so much, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC.